Welcome back everybody, long time no see. Hope everybody's doing well. Just thought I'd come back to you with a bit of an update on things. I'll start with the grow on. Now admittedly I've not quite got as far along with this as I'd quite hoped. I'd hoped to be a little bit further along than this been now, but just from one thing or another I've just not been able to get going with it. Been busy with work, weather's not been too great, finances has took a bit of a hit. I've had a few things what's come unexpected, but such is life. It'll get there eventually. I'm not in no particular rush. So I'll spin you around, I'll show you whereabouts I am with that. So this is where we are at the minute with this. A bit built up. I did a little bit last night. I'm going to do a bit more today. Still haven't concreted this section yet. I need to get some more ballast for that. Well, yeah, that's where we are at the minute. Well, like I say, things are going way. Life gets thrown at you. So the progress of this has took a bit of a hit for the time being. I've got sand and cement, so like I say, I can carry on doing a bit more block work, but I need to get some more ballast for that. So that looks like waiting for a little bit. So for the time being, I'm just making do with what I've got. Like I say, I've got sand and cement, so at least I can do block work. Where you see these gaps, they're cuts, so I'm leaving them as long as I can, and then I'll do all cuts together. I'll just get it built up as much as I can without doing cuts, just to save a bit of time. Yeah, so that's where I am with the grow on. The fish, they're doing well, to be fair. Yeah, they're doing well. Pond's looking well. I have had a couple of things I've had to deal with the pond. One thing I've had to deal with was the fish, after they'd been feeding, the feces, the poo, it was it wasn't coming out of them properly. It was sort of just basically falling out on them, like sort of crumbling, just exploding out on them. So that it's been doing it like that for a bit now. So I thought I'm gonna have to investigate and try and find out exactly why this is happening, what's going off. At first I thought it may have been because of a change in food, because they've been used to sakikari. They was on sakikari for a couple of years, and obviously those that know will know that I switched over to the FD build-up food. Yeah, so initially I thought they might just need a period to get used to the food, so to speak. But after a month or so, there were no change. The poo was still basically falling out on them, just crumbling, and it just an absolute mess, if I'm perfectly honest with you. So I reached out to a few people, asked a few people's advice and opinions, and pretty much the same sort of message what I got delivered back to me was I could try a couple of things. One was to obviously check my water parameters. My water parameters are all perfect, fine. Scrape for parasites, absolutely fine, nothing on them whatsoever. So the next train of thought was it could possibly be a bug inside the fish. So what that would entail would be treating the pond with a dose of Lernex, which I've now completed. They've gone on a fast, so they've not been fed for what, maybe a week and a half, something like that, whilst they was under treatment. So I stopped feeding. They've had a couple of doses of Lernex Pro. They seem absolutely fine. Again, I've re-scraped, there's nothing on the scrapes whatsoever. Yeah, so now we're just coming back out of that period where they're starting to go back on food now, so I shall see whether the poo improves or not. I can't see it being anything to do with the food, because it is a really high quality food. I know other people that use it without issues. So yeah, there's got to be something else at play. Hopefully it was just a bug inside them or something like that, you know, a worm that were causing the digestion to not work properly. So we shall see. Like I say, they've had a couple of doses of Lernex, so we'll see how they get on with that. The feed has been turned back on now, so they are being fed. We got 8 o'clock in the morning, two volumes, 12 o'clock at number 2, and at 4 o'clock at number 2. So I'm building the food back up. I'm not going to just whack it right back up to what it were at, because that wouldn't do them any favours whatsoever. So I'll slowly build the food back up again and see how they get on, basically. Another issue what I had, or what I thought I had, was the pond was losing water. So initially I didn't think note to it the first time it happened. I thought maybe just a bit of evaporation, or maybe I'd not topped the pond up quite enough after I'd done a water change or whatever. So didn't think note on it, topped it back up, and then next day I come down and it had dropped by about, I don't know, ½ an inch, something like that, the water level. So if you look where the water line is now, well, it had dropped down to about here, and it did that 4 times. So as you can imagine, you know, it sort of made my arsehole twitch a bit because I'd just let me get in there. Copper chopper looking for someone. Yeah, so as you can imagine, it made my arsehole twitch a bit. I'd gone looking round the pond at all the pipes what I could see visibly, to see if I could see anything obvious that might have been leaking. Couldn't see anything whatsoever. I checked pipes in the filter shed, nothing leaking on there whatsoever. So then checked around my skimmer, that's all fine. So then the only thing that boils me down to was, could there possibly be a leak somewhere on the bottom drain? And that was my ultimate fear, really, as you can quite imagine. But anyway, what I did to test was my shower filter. Well, this shower has got no it's just a flat weir, and what appears to have been happening was the water tracking underneath the shower as it's been falling out, running underneath it onto the tiles and down and into the brickwork and soaking through, even though the back wall of the pond where the shower sits is dry, but it has got patches, bloody flies, it has got patches of damp on it. So that pretty much leads me to believe that the water's been tracking underneath, in between the slabs on top, the coping stones on top of the pond, and seeping into the brickwork. I turned my shower off, come down the next morning, and the water level was perfectly fine. So as you can imagine, that was another huge sigh of relief to know that I haven't got a bloody pop on me bottom drain or me fiberglass or anything leaking. So yeah, massive relief. That'd be the absolute last thing we'd be wanting. But other than that, guys, everything else seems to be doing tickety-boo. I've actually bought some for me shower this morning as well. As you guys probably know, I run my shower empty. Well, at the minute I run it empty. Let's have a sit down a minute. Oh, So I run my shower empty. Last year when I had that bacterial infection, I wasn't convinced that it was nothing to do with the media that was inside the shower, possibly trapping dirt and causing God knows whatever, you know, within inside the pores of the media itself. So I took the media out just to try and eliminate that potential problem from reoccurring. Now, I always said I'd never put any media back in my shower without the skimmer line being pre-filtered, because my skimmer, the shower is fed from the skimmer directly. There's no filter in between it. But however, I think what I've decided I'm going to try, after seeing what Ryan Exclusively Koi does with his showers, is basically just got sponges in top on it to catch all waste. So I've been out this morning, I bought some sponges, and I'm just going to chuck some sponges, sorry for the angle guys, I'm just going to chuck some sponges in top of my shower just to catch any dirt, and probably then just to get a bit more filtration inside the shower and get a bit more nitrification going. Fill 2 of the trays with shower media. Now the shower media what I had before, I've still got it, let me show you. Oh. The shower media what I've got, it was the Burton's media, but however, since this media was in the shower beforehand when I had all my bacterial issues, I'm a bit in doubt as to whether to sterilise that media and reuse it. I don't know, I don't really think it's worth the risk personally, even though, you know, I know I could probably sterilise shit out on it with PP, chloramine T, Virkon, whatever. But even then, I don't know where, even after all that lot, bleach, that's one of Davy Boy's tricks, I don't know whether I could still be, what's the word, I still don't know whether I could be settled or have a peace of mind that it's not going to cause me any potential issues putting that media back into my system. So I'm undecided yet. Let me know what you guys think. What would you do if with that media? Because I'm not too sure whether to just sterilise it and put it back in, or whether to just, you know, not risk anything and just buy some new media. I think that's probably what I'm leaning towards, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Yeah, I'm probably more leaning towards getting some new media for those 2 trays. But yeah, anyway, I'll show you the foam what I've bought. I know I'm babbling on a bit now. So I bought a 3 foam set. Obviously we've got a coarse, medium and a fine coarse set. So they're going to be cutting off. The sizes of them foams are, I believe, 12 by 21 inch, something like that. So I'll chop them in half lengthways, and they'll go inside the shower, and hopefully they'll work well. I mean, even though it's foams, and it will work very well for mechanical filtration, it'll still also work very well for biological filtration, because the foams, they have a lot of surface area on them, so it still will have some good nitrification properties to it. Yeah, so anyway, I'm waffling now guys. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my shower apart, I'm going to get top tier off, get this foam cut down and get it chucked in guys. So I'll snap back with you. Right then guys, so I've got my foams. I think we'll probably start and put obviously the finer coarse foam will go on the bottom. Just see how big that needs to be, unless I could just, I'm going to have to cut them because I need it to span the full length of the shower tray. So that sits in there perfect. So as you can see, that just sits in there like that. And then I'll do the same for the other ones. Next will be the medium course, and then obviously the heavy course, whatever you want to call it. But I'll not bore you with this. I'll get on with it and I'll come back to you. Right, that's all 3 layers in now, guys. All 3 courses. So I'm going to take it back around there now, get the spray bar put back in, we'll get it up and running and we'll test it. Now before I turn it back on, I'll just mention what I probably will end up having to do is keep an eye on it for any potential overflowing. Should the foam get blocked up. I wouldn't have thought it would, because I do have a piece of jack matting in my skimmer line what stops the bulk of the muck going through, so very rarely will any muck get through there now. I didn't used to have any jack matting in my skimmer basket before, but I do now. So I have a piece of jack matting what just sits in there just to catch the bulk of the muck. So I'll get this up and running now. I'm going to switch it on and we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed it'll be okay. Right, so that's up and running, guys. See what we look like in here. See how it does. That's pumping at 50%, that on a 30,000 litre per hour pump. So we shall see. See how that goes. Well, yeah, like I say, I will have to keep an eye on it for potential overflowing, but like I also said, I don't think it'll be an issue because that jack matting's in there to catch the bulk of the mess what might get produced or pulled into the shower, so I've not really got any fears of that happening or anything like that, but I'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. Other than that, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get that beast fired up. I'm going to get some more blocks laid, I think. So I'll come back to you. Right, that's it then, guys. I've had a decent enough day at it. Got it up to 3 courses. So I'll spin you around and show you what we've got. So there we are so far, guys. Up 3 courses. Plan is to take it up to about 5. It does look as though 5 will be high when I'm stood at the side of it, but bearing in mind I've got a I've got to concrete this yet, so by the time this is concreted, the height won't be too bad actually. So yeah, it's coming on. It's getting there slowly but surely. And like I said before, for those wondering why there's gaps, that's where I've got to put cuts. Like a bugger, I've got to put a cut here because that's slightly too small for a full block to go in. Must have done a couple of joints a little bit bigger, because all along bottom they're all full blocks, whereas this one here, it's slightly too small, so I must have done joints a little bit too thick, but it is where it is. No major. I'll just have to shave a bit off of one of the blocks and put in that gap. So yeah, she's coming on slowly but surely. It'll get there eventually. The foam seem to be doing the job as well, what put in the shower. They seem to be pulling a lot of the finer particles out of water. You might not be able to tell much now because the sun's in wrong position really. I don't know how well you'll see, but it's much clearer since putting them foams in there, catching a lot of smaller particles from going back in water. So I'm happy with that. Looking great. And these I don't know what these are on with. I think they're being fed. Every time I come near the pond, they seem to think that food's coming. They do. Want some food, kids? Alright then. One little handful, just for the viewers. I forgot to mention as well, there's another fish going out here. So before I moved on me Gimi and Momotaro Kahaku, and the same guy has also been back and taken the Sekaguchi Pearl Gimi and Sankey, so that one's gone now too. So that means I'm down to 7 koi. My fish are actually now in quarantine, the ones that I'm waiting on coming, what I bought in the Japanese auctions back in December 23 and January this year. They've now arrived at Shosha, so they're in quarantine. So once they finish the quarantine, I expect them to be finished probably, I don't know, maybe mid-July, something like that. So I'm looking forward to receiving them. Just a reminder for you guys that might not be aware, I've got a Dainichi Toyota Tancho Kahaku coming and a Dainichi Sankey coming. Real nice fish. So yeah, looking forward to receiving them. They're bloody wild, these fish, when they feed. I'm telling you, they're like bloody tosai. It's crazy. Absolutely bonkers. Silly mutts. Right, that's me guys. I've tied all my shit up. I'm going to go off inside now and put my feet up, I reckon, and get ready for work tomorrow. So just thought I'd give you this update guys, and I'll catch you back soon with another one. See you later.